Well, hello. Today's the 1932 film Tarzan the Ape Man. Jane Parker comes to Africa to visit her father. James Parker and his partner Harry Holt are about to embark on an expedition to find the elephant's graveyard. They have to climb a steep escarpment. They fight off hippos and crocodiles while crossing a river. They do meet Tarzan, who kidnaps Jane. The safari though finds Jane, and they kill an ape in the process of rescuing her. Tarzan then stalks the safari for revenge. The apes kidnap Jane again, and she falls in love with Tarzan during her captivity. Jane is released a second time, only the safari is now captured by a tribe of dwarfs. The dwarfs send the safari to fight a giant ape in a pit. Tarzan, though, comes to the rescue to save Jane and her father and Harry Holt. The elephants destroy the dwarf village to rescue their friend Tarzan. A dying elephant leads them to the elephant graveyard, where Jane's father then dies. And then Jane decides to stay with Tarzan. So, this 1932 movie was probably the first Tarzan movie with sound. They've done a lot of silent films before this. And MGM wanted to, do a very big budget one because the character was quite popular based on Edgar Rice Burroughs' books. And they right away knew they wanted Johnny Weissmuller to be the Tarzan. He was a winner of 5 gold medals in swimming and somewhat of a celebrity at the time. And they had to negotiate with a underwear company who had him on contract for them. They offered 2 actors, Greta Garbo and another one, to do ads for him so they could get Tarzan for the movie. Those were the days when actors and actresses under contract pretty much seemed to be owned by the studio. And it also got Maureen Sullivan played a part of Jane. And this movie was shot in California studios in a place called Lake Sherwood, which is kind of north of Los Angeles, I guess. And they also did some scenes in Silver Springs, Florida. And it was a very big, huge success. It was a budget of $652,000, and they made like over $2.5 million. So the studio cleared $1 million so in profit, and they were very happy about that, obviously. Which means it also would become quite a very successful movie franchise. Weissmuller is probably the most iconic of the Tarzan actors. He was really the first, in my opinion. And if anyone ever, name an actor who played Tarzan, it's probably Johnny Weissmuller. And he was great for the part. I mean, he looked well, and when you see him swim, he knows how to swim. And Maureen Sullivan was great as Jane, and they had a lot of chemistry. And they go on to do 12 movies with Weissmuller, and Sullivan would stay around for the first 6. And this is a movie that obviously introduced stuff like the Tarzan yell, introduced Cheetah as his faithful little chimpanzee companion. And movie looks really good. I mean, they have It used stock footage from a movie called Trader Horn, which was the first movie that was actually filmed on location in Africa. I mean, you could kind of tell because they would have the actors like stand in front of a screen, and it was very obvious. But back in 1932, that was probably cutting edge technology for films. And it had Neil Hamilton, if you notice in this movie, a young Neil Hamilton. He probably is best known as playing Commissioner Gordon in the Adam West Batman series from the 60s. And this also was just a great movie. It had a lot of, what Tarzan would do. He would, they had crocodiles and hippopotamuses, and he fought a leopard and two lions and a savage tribe. The tribe that they had was, they recruited a whole bunch of small people from Los Angeles and that. Of course, the guys were white, so they put them in blackface. Probably without a care in the world, knowing that in the future generations would just find that real offensive. Although, to be honest, most of those people are probably not going to watch something this old. But if they heard about it, I'm sure they'd be very offended. And yeah, this, they made, MJ would remake this movie twice. One in 1959, and again, of course, 1981 with Bo Derek, very infamous movie. And both of those remakes are just absolute horrible. Probably the bottom of the barrel of the Tarzan movies. But that's, for a discussion later in the future. But yeah, this was, the start of a very profitable franchise. MGM started out very strong with this, and I loved these movies as a kid, watching them on Saturdays, and it's what led me to eventually find Edgar Rice Burroughs' books, which I loved, and of course that got my interest in reading, which still today I just love to read. So I definitely recommend this movie. I definitely read any Weissmuller movie, and I definitely recommend reading the books or the comic books. I'll put a little links into my reviews on my various blogs. And I thank you for staying with me. If you did, you're a unique individual.